You ready for this, Blake?
I'm ready.
All right, finna hit the key. We're trying to get kicked off YouTube to start. Wake up, middle of the night, screaming your brains out. I don't even know if this song's listed in the YouTube algorithm, Blake.
It's gotta be. It's gotta be.
I don't know these words.
10 more minutes, baby.
You're just my
Nightmare.
one lavish nightmare. You call me animal, but that's just not the truth. No animal, yeah, no animal with you. There's nothing, Blake, as cool in this movie as that song was in Friday the 13th Part 6. He's Blake. I'm Ronnie. All the good names are taken podcast, and we're bringing you a Friday the 13th video every Friday.
Sometimes
until we get you a quality Friday the 13th movie. And we're not talking about a series show with a gaggle of freaks in a room talking about trees and stuff like that. We're talking about true blue Crystal Lake. Jason Voorhees is back. No prequel, no reboot.
no Pam Voorhees or origin story. We don't care about that silly hoe.
Pick it up. Hold on. I got technology for that. Pick it up exactly where you want to as a fan. It doesn't damn matter. If you want to pick it up after part 2, pick it up there. He could be in the woods after part 3, part 4 when they bury him. There's tons of fan films out there on YouTube that make sense, that are great, because we just want to see Jason in the woods after kids or adults and wear the hockey mask, chop people, get killed at the end. We go home happy, but we still know he may still be alive, Blake.
He's still out there waiting.
So, Blake, we're the simplest thing to do, the YouTube thing to do would be to, hey, this Friday, review of Friday the 13th, part 1. We'll tell you what we like. We'll tell you what we don't like. So
I thought you were going to say the easy thing to do is be negative, which is what everyone is. 2 weeks ago, we told you that Friday the 13th Part 5 is a good movie, and we told you why. And tonight, Ronnie, we're doing the same thing with Jason Takes Manhattan. This is a really good movie.
Yeah, it gets tons of hate, Blake. Everybody and look, I am one of those people.
I'm glad you said that, because you know what? YouTube, you don't like this movie, you're just a hater. You ain't nothing but a hater. You probably don't have no friends. You don't know film. You're a hack. You just a little hater. Probably ain't never had a woman.
Ain't never had a woman.
You ain't never had a woman. You're a hater. This is a good movie. Sick of it.
I was one of those people that hated this movie. What's going on here? It starts off, it's stupid. I don't like it. But over the years, my opinion of this movie has changed.
Yeah.
Because this is a good Friday the 13th movie. Sometimes I think horror fans are guilty of overthinking what their movies should be. Okay? For the longest time, we've seen Halloween fans, this movie sucks. It was a miracle the first one was any good. It was lightning in a bottle that everybody loved. That there's nothing else to do with it. And you're complaining when these people dump millions of dollars into a movie to try to give you art and entertainment. It's not good enough. Nothing's ever going to be the original. So we should just stop with the original. These horror movies are meant to add on. And the higher the number, the more ridiculous horror movies get, unless it's a torture porn series or something like that, where it's a new way to cut an arm off or slice a throat or something like that. But when it comes to a character that is menacing an area like a ghost, this is just a ghost story with a guy in a hockey mask, they get more and more ridiculous. Okay.
You just summed up every franchise, Ronnie. I mean, you just did that so beautifully. I mean, Halloween, Evil Dead, Texas Chainsaw, you name it, Freddy. Nothing's going to ever top the original. So stop being miserable and appreciate that these movies are still being made.
Real quick, I'm going to get in the chat. And I'm going to tell me great job in the comments to myself. Great job, Ronnie. That's the kind of
Can you pull that up at the bottom, Ronnie?
That's the kind of feedback we need. No, I walked back here earlier, Blake, to make one little thing, and I forgot to do it. Holy crap.
What'd you forget to do? You want to stop the show?
No, I don't want to stop the show. I was going through the IMDb stuff, and I was reading like the fun facts, the trivia, the stuff that's there. And I came to one. I've seen it before, but it's still funny to me. It said that when Jason gets to the dock, he's supposed to kick a dog off into the water that's barking at him. And Kane Hodder asked for that to be removed from the script because that was too far. He picks up Kelly Hu by the throat and strangles her for 14 minutes in this movie.
Kelly who?
Exactly. Asian chick.
I thought we were going to do a Dude, Where's My Car there for a second.
Who? Who?
That's what I'm asking. Who?
Who? So I just think it gets to the point where it's very dumb to not kick a dog into the water. Are we really killing these people? Fake kicking this dog. That's too much. Animal lovers may not like that at all. Other than that, how are things?
Really good Friday. Really good Friday. Really good end of the week for me. Yeah, can't complain. How about you, buddy?
It felt like
they took my blue check mark away, Ronnie.
Dude,
things are awful,
dude. That is my favorite part of Twitter today is how people are freaking out. People are gonna die. I don't have my check mark anymore. How are people gonna get the information? We're so spoiled. I went and bought me a check mark immediately for the podcast, Blake. We now have a blue check. We are verified through Elon Musk.
That's
so there
great,
you go.
Man.
Yeah, but it's the week
all these celebrities freaking out. How are you going to separate? I got to be separated from the Mongos. Give me my check mark back.
Oh, enough with that shit. Here comes Mongo.
Never mind that shit. Mongo happy.
It was a long week. I guess that's all I can say. It's a long week.
Well, it's over, buddy. It's over.
I'm really glad it's over. And tonight we're going to talk our top reasons why Friday the 13th Part 8 is a really good movie. All right. So you ready to kick right into it or what?
And guys, go ahead and prepare yourself. We are about to convince you because I know right now you're thinking this is not a good movie. You're at the end of this, you will agree with us that this is a good movie. Okay. Get ready.
All right.
We got clips?
Well, dude, we've got it all. We may even have what's his name? Vincent Dasani jump in here. Dasani Water jump in here with us here in a little bit to talk something whenever he gets home from the club. So I messed up already. Give me just a second.
It's okay, man. They don't know when you mess up. I learned this in my improv class. Just go with it, man. The audience don't know. They think it's part of the show.
It's like this.
It's like this, Blake. So I knew something was up at the beginning of this show, Blake, or beginning of this movie, when it opens up with this kind of music, because this is the first Friday the 13th to open up with a radio DJ talking about a concrete jungle, and it's okay out there. Listen to this guy first off.
You thought this was a radio DJ? Is that who that is?
Who you think it was?
I thought it was Jason. And
Go ahead.
Is this the same music from The Great Outdoors?
Claustrophobia, a land of steel and concrete.
Could be. It could be. I know what you're talking about. That. I know what you're talking about.
He puts the pull stick between her legs,
and she falls in love with him.
By dark waters.
You know what he's talking about.
There is no escape.
I love the part of this intro. You know why this intro is great? First off, sexy voice on this guy right here. How great in the 80s would it have been to been a night DJ, other than the fear of somebody kicking the door in and raping or killing you at some point in the night in the radio station.
Oh, man, it was like the prime time to be a radio DJ. Every female loved the guy's voice on the radio. I mean, forget about it. You could look like me, and they'd be like, I'm in love with him. Listen to that voice.
I'm in love with him. It's usually some large Marge trucking it on down the road.
Yeah.
Or do we want it?
Oh, yeah.
We've come to
Okay, so another thing about this intro real quick. Blake, do I need to blow this up even more? Is this good enough? Can people see this, you reckon?
That's perfect, man. That's perfect.
So they show us everywhere that's going to be important in New York City. I guess they got double the footage here. We get to see everywhere Jason's going to be in New York City.
thrive on it.
I see the Batman symbol. I see a Camel's ad.
You can't get the adrenaline
Coca-Cola.
pumping without
Favorite cigarette of all time if you were a smoker?
Camel?
the terror, good people.
Our grandpa had smoked Camel's non-filtered. He was a real man. He punched a dog one time for looking at him stupid.
Yeah, he's not like Kane Hodder.
I love this
Look at these guys right here. We're supporting them.
town.
You think they're worried about getting called in, Ronnie? They're not.
What did Bud say? PTO, personal time off?
Yeah.
That's what it looks like right there. AKA I pissed hot. What's this song? I mean, look at this right here. I mean, this song is ridiculous. We're starting a Friday the 13th movie. We're breaking the mold, Blake. First off, this guy right here, he comes out of nowhere. I think he did some directing on the Friday the 13th, the series that was awful. And they said, you know what? We like you so much. We want you to do part 8. And then they were talking to the chick that played Tina in part 7, who her and her husband wrote a script that they were the stars of, where she was going to be a doctor. Meanwhile, the guy from Days of Our Lives, Nick, he had wrote his own script where he was going to be the star, and it was going to be him that was the killer, and it was all this big dream in part 7. And I think Paramount took both of those scripts and they wiped their ass with it. And then they chose this guy right here and said, hey, you want to direct a movie? He said, you know what? I would love to direct a Friday the 13th, but here's what I want. We got to take it out of Crystal Lake. We got to take it somewhere else. We got to take it to the damn moon. Yeah, this intro right here, I'm not going to go through all of it, but what we do is we see this DJ guy, and then he talks about the concrete jungle, which
There's no escape.
This is where the movie is leading to, the concrete jungle. And for 7 straight movies, we had the pleasure of seeing a horror movie intro, Blake. You know, crazy music, Friday the 13th, busting through your screen. I mean, that's what we're used to. And I will say this. I'm not a fan of the opening. I'm not going to sit here and lie to everybody and say, oh, this is the greatest opening ever. The opening is one of the reasons for years I thought this movie sucked. I was like, what is this music? What is this dude talking about? I want straight to the camp. I need to know what happened to Jason once that zombie dad pulled him down into the water. What's going on? Let's pick up from 5 minutes after that happened, and Jason comes back out of the water. Okay, and he's got that dead dad attached to him, like one of those paraplegics that wrap their arm around people's neck like a backpack.
Yeah.
So how do we want to do this, Blake? I think I've got 6 of your reasons that you think this movie's great. I've got 6 of my reasons that I think this movie's great.
Well, you've kind of hinted at my first one, so I guess you could just let me take over if you want to throw my first one on the board, Ronnie. I mean, the first 7 Friday the 13th movies, 6 if you don't want to include 5, because technically 5's not a Jason movie unless you count, the dreams and hallucinations. But the first 6 movies take place at Crystal Lake. Okay. And you know what? At Crystal Lake, Ronnie, you can run away. The cops can show up to help you. In this one, we're getting a brand new setting. Yeah, it says Manhattan, and 90% of the movie takes place on a cruise boat. But I don't see that as a negative, Ronnie. What makes Jaws so good? What makes Aliens so good? There's no
rainbow.
There's no escape. All right. There's nowhere to go. And on this cruise boat, on this cruise ship, whatever you want to call it, Carnival Cruise Line, it's just the kids and Jason, and they literally have nowhere to go. And that isolation, I think it's a good setting for a new movie. It's a new idea, and I love it. I love it.
I never thought of it like that, Blake. The fact that they're isolated on a boat, that just goes to show how dumb I am, because I never put it, oh, they're on a boat. They can't escape Jason. I just put it like, hey, Jason's on a boat, because, I mean, here's the way I look at it. We didn't need it, but sometimes things we don't need are the best things we get. You put that on the card. Okay. So I think you're right. A new setting.
A new setting was desperately needed at this point. And if he would have got the funding that he needed, yeah, we would have got the scenes that's rumored on IMDb, with the Madison Square Garden and the Statue of Liberty. But he didn't get what he needed, so I think he did the best he could with what he had. And I love the idea of isolation on a boat. I love the idea of these kids running around Manhattan, not knowing where to go while being chased by Jason. I mean, it's it was a fresh new setting and it worked.
And what a more annoying place for Jason to be than a senior trip with a bunch of kids. I mean, ridiculous. But this movie, look, I'm going back old school because I'm an old school guy. I love Friday the 13th. My first one is Jason getting reanimated. So in part 6, they introduced the idea that lightning or electricity can bring Jason back to life. Now let's go back and let's do a little history lesson for everybody that loves Friday the 13th as much as we do. Back in the 50s, he drowned. He went underwater. Somebody dared him to see if you can drink all the water in the lake. He did it. He drowned. So whether or not he floated up on the bank and puked it back up and lived in the woods or whatever, we don't see him again until he's walking down the street and he goes and kills Alice. At the end of part 2, spoiler alert if you've never seen the movie from 1980.
Yeah, listen, if you hadn't seen these movies, click out of here now because this is going to be very spoiler heavy, Ronnie.
So the next movie, he gets a machete, what would you say, Blake, 18 inches down into his body, down into the shoulder. It's a very dangerous, messed up injury, and he's down for the count. We know that because at part 3, it opens up showing us him getting the machete out and easing on. At the end of part 3, he takes a axe to the head and supposedly dead. Part 4, machete through the head, falls down on it, goes all the way, cuts his head in half. Okay. Part 5, Roy. Part 6, we're introduced to reanimating Jason. And I thought that was really cool. It becomes Monster Jason. I know our buddy Vincent Desani talks about Jason is a ghoul the minute he gets out of that hospital in part 4 and starts killing everybody. But to me, Jason doesn't become the undead until they dig him out of the ground after he's been dead 5 or 6 years or however long it's been. So it was a pleasant surprise for me. And let me pull it up when Jason gets reanimated. Where we at? Okay. In this one. So you got a couple of teens. We think they're teens. It looks more like early to mid 20s floating on a boat talking about, hey, there used to be a killer around this lake and this happens. Oh, hold on. Let me pause.
Get that graphic off there, brother.
I'm sorry. Let's back it up. First off, it could happen to anybody. I didn't know they had Ethernet cable or whatever this is at the bottom of Crystal Lake. It looks
that's fiber internet, Ronnie. You are indeed the last person to ever get it. It's working great, by the way, too.
Thank you. Okay, so here we have this, Blake. Early on digital effects. I think they brought in Steven Spielberg and George Lucas. So they combined effort here to show us Jason getting reanimated. My favorite part of this, I don't know if it shows up because of the darkness of the screen. Jason's got rigor mortis has set in on that hand through the deck that got pulled down on him. So it would have taken a little while. This movie should have been like the Mummy from Monster Squad. He should have had a stiff hand for at least a little bit of it. And then he breaks it back in and it's ready to go. So we get the reanimation scene. Look at this. And I always had this question because I don't know anything about electricity, Blake. Maybe we need to ask Bud. If you're in the lake right now swimming, is everybody getting electrocuted?
Yeah. Everything in the lake, all the life, what do you call it? Fish life, all the fishes are dead.
So it's like the fishes. And so it's at the beginning of Crocodile Dundee 2 when Mick Dundee can't catch a fish with the rod and reel, he just throws the dynamite over the side and the shock waves kills everybody.
Now, see, why couldn't we get that opening? Why couldn't we have people out there fishing and they hook Jason and bring him up to the top of the water? And that's how you bring him back. Wouldn't that have been great if they hooked him like Ben Stiller and Something About Mary when they
pull him out and it's Jason at the end of it, the 6'5" guy?
Yeah.
That would have been great.
Oh my gosh. Ronnie?
Yeah.
We have a new member.
What? Let me check the chat.
I know you're not prepared. You're not prepared for the videos. I know it.
What are you talking about? Look at this guy right here. I got to get all this crap off the board. Tommy Knocker, the horror guy. I love it. I love it. I love it. A new grumpy goat, Blake. And you say I'm not ready for all this. This is what we do.
This is for you, Tommy.
This is what we do for all grumpy goats. Tommy, first off, thank you for joining up. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. And now here we go.
I love it.
And I said, why are you laughing? Am I not saying anything right now? What's the matter with you?
No, you're good. I just
All
thought
right. No, I was asking why you're laughing. Did I screw up his name? So Tommy's a new grumpy goat. We got to add him to the intro of the show. He can now request a movie that we'll throw on the wheel.
That's right, Tommy. And y'all go check out Tommy's channel. That dude is pumping out great content. Tommy Knocker, the horror guy. I found him, I guess it's been a couple of months ago now. He's got such a good channel, man. Y'all please go check him out. Just give him a chance.
What video should we give him for joining up? You know my go-to video. I'm gonna let you pick the other one.
I like the fat guy video, Ronnie. Give him King
wiping just my ass, because I mean I can't reach everything on my back and I can't reach everything below me, so it's whatever.
Just whatever. Tommy is whatever. He can't reach everything on his back, so I mean,
it's just whatever.
Yeah,
and my favorite.
You guys. Just lean forward. Don't lean back. Lean forward. You ready? Ready? Push. Ready?
Oh, you got that big Oh, he's in the split.
Why is he there? Why is he there, Ronnie?
He's just trying to be cool like the rest of the people, dude. He's trying to skate. And just like when we get a super chat or somebody becomes a patron or a grumpy goat, in my mind, it's this.
Oh, do me.
So there you go. Tommy Knocker coming through. You said he's got his own YouTube channel, Blake?
Yes, he does. And he made a video a while back, Ronnie, about what horror movie needs to be turned into or just what movie needs to be turned into video game. And he did like the They Live, but he put the They Live poster on an NES cartridge. I mean, he's pumping out great content, man.
Guys, go check him out. And if he turns out to be a pervert, then I don't know what to say.
We recommended him.
Then we recommended him. All right, Blake, back to the animation right here. Jason's come. So, okay. The hook caught the wire. Now we got electricity pumping through this lake. We got a load of screw taking place on the boat, so they don't know what's going on.
Classic Friday 13th.
Yeah. Look at it. This is the coolest shot of the movie. Some people are going to say the coolest shot of the movie is going to be Jason in Times Square. I think things like this are the coolest shot of the movie. I think this is where he gets his teleportation powers.
Oh, wow.
Look at that. I mean, why we have established that this camp is shut down. Why is it back? And then me and you can go through our theory that it's a huge lake. And
Can I get that sign there? Look at that. Look how good that sign looks. Chris, you think you can get that Crystal Lake sign for me, bud?
Chris, you owe us a sign. Get that Crystal Lake sign. Make it happen. So, Blake, the reanimation of Jason is one of the better parts of this movie. And it makes you think no matter how you take care of this guy, all we need some jumper cables and a battery, we can bring him back. All right.
You know what, Ronnie? I never liked the way they brought him back in this. You just convinced me. That's the best part of the movie. Yeah. That shot of the water turning green and then the smoke rising up from the lake. Fantastic. Fantasy.
Are people still living in the camp?
Dude, they had lights on. I saw lights on in them cabins.
I don't know what's going on there unless they're staying in one of the cabins. Okay, so this is also the first movie that lets you know that Crystal Lake has an outlet into the Atlantic Ocean, but we can talk about that one later. Blake, since we're doing this live, I mentioned teleporting for a reason. Would you like to talk about on your next one?
Bring it up.
Let's wait for the teleporting. Let's do this right here because you had a good point.
Yeah, so in this one, it's established that we are killing high school seniors. This is a senior class trip, Ronnie, and it had me thinking that how old are the counselors from part 1, 2, and all the other movies? I mean, is this the first time that Jason's finally killing high school kids?
Well, let's go back through it. You know me. I like to go back.
I do know you.
I like to go back and actually see in my mind's eye who he's killed. So in part 2,
we know Jenny is a college kid.
Yes.
She's majors in philosophy and
that one chick was 14 in real life, but in the movie she's supposed to be playing way older.
Right.
Part 3, those are not high school kids. Part 4, those could be possibly high school kids.
Possibly, yeah. I mean, we know Tommy's a youngin', but it's not established, though. You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, but in the car, they're talking about so-and-so said you're a dead F.
And that's the first time he's not killed counselors either. No, that's not true because there's no counselors in part 3.
I mean, I'm killing this drink right here.
What is it? What's in the cup, brother?
Rum.
Coca-Cola?
Yeah, it's Diet Coke. You know I don't drink. So part 5, those are all crazies. Those aren't real people. They don't count. Part 6, those can't be high school people.
No.
Part 7, those are definitely not high school people. So this might be the first time he's killing people that are besides part 4 that are actually supposed to be in high school. So I love this when you sent this to me because it made me think. I love questions that make me think. So what I did, Blake, is I compiled, and this video may take us a little while, and whenever you get ready to bail, Blake, we can bail. But I compiled a video of most of the kills. Would you like to go through them, or would you just like to talk about them?
Whatever work you've done, let's see it, Ronnie.
All right. We may get kicked off YouTube. If it
I don't care.
Go to bed.
We'll ruin Terminator if we get kicked off early.
I love it. Okay, let's see. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, here he goes. Hey, do you want to check out the kills on the boat first?
Sure.
All right, so here's the kills on the boat. I'll get that right here in a minute, Blake. So, when I told you when I originally watched this movie, I rented it at the video store, and the beginning of it was like, and then this first opening kill made me think, geez. And I think this movie was released in 89-ish, so I'm 9 years old, 10 at the oldest. And I'm like, oh man, look how fake this looks. Because I'm a kid, I'm stupid. Look at this right here. First off, this is not a good chick at all. She bails.
I disagree. She's a good chick.
My wife would have threw herself in front of me so I could have went out that window because she's a true champion. She's got the heart of a champion. Look at this idiot. This Bill Hader here. He's frozen in fear. He don't know what to do. He's just going to sit here and let his guts get beat. All right. Very graphic right here. And now this is where me as a young 9-year-old, 10-year-old thought, look how cheesy this is. Watch this, Blake. Guts. When he pulled it back and I saw that right there, I thought that was supposed to be his intestines. And me as a 9-year-old, I was like, that's not what intestines look like when you pull them out of a body. This movie sucks. Okay, so that's one of the reasons. I didn't know it was part of the attachment that he stabbed him with. That's not supposed to be his internal organs. That's just part of the thing that he stabbed him with. So that was me being stupid as a kid. So it's actually a pretty cool kill. He stabs a guy in the gut. He don't even have to get his faculties back about him. He's right back moving.
Yeah.
I mean, during his time in the water, no joints rotted off or anything like that. Wouldn't it have been like hilarious if he goes to stand up on the boat and like his left leg just goes to the side like Sid Vicious in that match because his knees rotted off?
So you wanted a compilation of him like stretching and stuff?
No. Yes, that's exactly what I wanted. I got to get loose, guys. So now the next kill on that boat is just, I've got it labeled kills idiot on boat. Okay, this could be. All right, so is this loud on your end too? Because it's loud on my end. So he's like, this is not the Jason Voorhees that I grew up with. This is not my Voorhees, because my Voorhees is not teasing somebody like this with a slow, like my Voorhees is pounding guts.
Did you just hashtag not my Voorhees?
Hashtag not my Voorhees.
Hey, those kicks held up good to be underwater for so long. Check out them shoes, man. They're still tied too, brother.
Oh, wow. Strings held up. That's exactly how I would react if I woke up and Jason was standing above me.
Look at that. Look how good he looks right there, Ron. You can't see his eyes. I love it.
First, if I woke up immediately, I would be on. He'd be nervous about that. So anyway, let's get back to this.
Oh.
Just a little stab right there got her. So I apologize for the coughing. Okay, now I got a whole compilation of kills here. Let's check them out, Blake.
Okay, bud.
If you can veto this anytime you want. So anybody earlier in the movie that listened to this chick, because there's all kind of wacky characters on this boat, Blake. You've got the guy that looks like Wade from not Wade, what's his name? Brady from Halloween 4 with the long hair and the glasses, and he's recording this chick right here that thinks she's going to be a rock star. And she's down there playing, they're making a music video on an old school camcorder. And Jason does what the audience wanted to do when, they heard her music. Just hit her right in the head with it. Now, you mentioned this kill specifically, Blake, because there's a boxing match on there. And the guy that loses the boxing match to Julian or Julius, whatever his name is, he's laid in the sauna room. He's laid in a sauna room. And this right here happens.
Nice fight, Julius.
Go get those babes later, huh?
We'll go hook up with those babes later. Yeah, aka people you went to school with. You know their names.
Guess I need to work on my left-right-left combo.
He Hispanic? Let's play guess the race while he's under the towel.
Well, that nipple is pink.
Hispanic. Now, Jason, obviously the nerve endings are gone right here.
Because I mean, my Jason from the previous movies was when
Yeah.
Come on.
Guts equal beat. This goes, once again, we've got somebody just thrashing around, not trying to grab a hand. I'd be like trying to grab a hand. Like in the beginning of Happy Gilmore, when Happy Gilmore's got the nightstick between his legs and he sneaks up on that other security guard that's asleep and he tries to put it on his face, and immediately it's like that reaction right there.
Ronnie, I spilled hot chicken noodle soup on my stomach one time, and I imagine it felt very similar to this. Back in the day on our old show, we would call this a gut buster.
Let's do a little old school. You ready for this, Blake?
Please tell me you still got the sound bite.
Old school.
Gut buster. Gut buster.
That's 7 years old.
All right. All right. So now we got the chick, Blake, right here. We got this chick who's the biggest heel in the movie, and she gets a kill. Believe it or not, there was talk that the director got naked in front of the camera, so she wouldn't be so nervous about getting naked in front of the camera. At least that's what Mr. IMDb told me.
I think Louis C.K. does that same thing when he does comedy.
Now, we can't kick a dog off a pier, but we can do this. Tell me who Kane Hodder hates more in life, animals or women? Because that was totally acceptable, and it made the horn go off on the boat.
It was so smart of Jason to time that when they were tooting the horn that you couldn't hear her scream.
Well, that's what he's doing all day. He was timing up when the horns would sound off so he could commit the murders at every horn. Now, this is the guy that tells us the story earlier in the movie about my son's young. And then Captain Toot the Horn goes, they grow up quick. Don't be too hard on them. Don't tell them to toot the effing horn. All right, so that's one stab, right, Blake? Or we let's count like the dude from Sesame Street.
Ronnie, you're steering a boat or you're just doing anything and you feel a sharp pain in your lower back. What's the first thing you're thinking? Bees? Wasps?
Are we talking about me personally?
Yeah.
Back cramp.
Back cramp?
Back cramp. But he pulls it out and the guy stays there. So I'm assuming he's stabbing him again, right? So the guy just stays in that one bent position like he's still stabbed. Got him again. Now, here's Captain Toot Toot. Right here. You know, I literally felt bad in this movie because the last interaction he had with his son was a negative interaction. So now his son's going to have to live with that the rest of his life.
Yeah, very realistic situation.
He's so shocked too. He don't reach for his throat or anything. He's not even bleeding yet. So that means he's still alive. I think he was nominated for an Oscar for this. He went cross-eyed on it. Now here's Kelly Who. Keep in mind, Blake.
Who?
Kelly Who. We can't kick a dog off into the water. A fake, make-believe dog can't be kicked into the water. Well, we can choke an Asian for 47 minutes. She was in the Wolverine. She was in the X-Men movie as the female Wolverine.
Has Jason ever killed anybody by like holding them up to a ceiling fan? That'd be a good kill. That'd be a good kill.
If it was a metal ceiling fan, like one of those in like the fish restaurants.
Or just a wooden one and let it break. Like the jackass guys that used to jump on the trampoline into the ceiling fan.
Well, here's the deal right here, Blake. He's got super strength. He crushed Burt Reynolds' head in part 6, the Burt Reynolds cop. So why is he toying with this Asian Kelly Who?
I think it's just been so long, Ronnie. He's just savoring it, you know? He's just having some fun.
Oh, okay. Just making some copies. See, it goes on forever, but we can't nudge a dog over into the water. So this right here, this is a great scene. This is long-haired Brady that filmed stuff for the rocker chick. He's about to get his guts beat. I love that he's on fire before he hits there. Lots of cool shots, Blake. Lots of cool shots of the mask. Maybe the best mask in the franchise in this one right here as far as what it looks like, okay? So here's the first. You're going to mention this here in a minute, but let's go ahead and let you mention it. All right, let's go to your next one so we can sort of keep it
rolling, baby, like Limp Bizkit.
Rolling. Here we go. So you brought up Jason's teleporting.
Yeah, we get the very first movie in the franchise where Jason teleports. And if you're not a fan of this, guess what, Ronnie? You're just a hater. That's all you are. You're a hater, and you don't understand film. He's been electrocuted twice, okay? He's got powers now, and he's teleporting all over this boat. Cindy Lou whoever you said her name was, she was in that dance, that groovy dance hall, and she looked all around, didn't see anybody. And then guess what? Bam, he appeared. He teleported. I love it. I love that they introduced teleportation in this one.
And it's blatant. It's blatant with it too, Blake. They don't try to hide it. There's no other way than to say, okay, this is comic kill or this is teleporting. So let's go back to the video clip.
Well, I just remembered. I think this is where you're going right now. I think you're cutting to what I just thought of. This kid's climbing a ladder that leads to nowhere to get rid of to get away from Jason, and then all of a sudden Jason's on the ladder with him. It's beautiful.
All right, let me get this pulled up.
Now, Jason, this was a very smart of the writer.
Sorry.
Jason knows how to defend this, Ronnie, because he's seen it before. He let Chris get him about 25 years earlier in part 3. And this time he saw it coming. He was able to catch it. But the guy, hey, to this kid's credit, to this 17-year-old kid's credit, he was going for the kill shot, babe.
Dude. Whoa, right there. That was a good swing. He aimed a little bit high, though. It was like that would have to be a Rob Zombie Jason or a Rob Zombie Michael Myers to be that high. Or
yeah, the more we break it down, that's more of a Shane Emerson swing. He was not going to connect.
Yeah, he was hacking. He was chopping wood instead of you got to get the tip of the bat up, Shane, and you got to
bat up.
You got to get the top of the bat up. Keep the bat head high.
Stay inside on it, Shane.
You got to bunt it down the third base line and get that guy over so they can knock him in and get you some run support.
Come on now.
I don't know why I left this in. I should have edited this out. I just thought it was funny that the axe landed right there. I almost cut that dude's foot off. That's not the hairline of a teenager. And I went to school like two guys that went bald. There was a long chase scene for a character that didn't really mean anything. Like this was like the secondary guy to a secondary guy.
Yeah.
There he is right there out of nowhere. Where could he have come from? He's in the front of the boat. Where could he have come from?
I believe that's called the stern.
What if the boat would have hit a wave and he fell over the top rope there over into the water? That guy could have said he's a hero like Kevin from The Office. I am a hero. Here we go, Blake. He's watching him go up. He's still at the bottom.
Teleportation time.
Maybe
I see. Even in '89, we're political. I'm pretty sure I saw the Ukraine flag on that boat running.
Maybe Jason is just way better at climbing ladders than this guy.
Could be.
All right, here we go. So this we won't mention what this ties into. This ties into another one of yours. Maybe we can come back to this in a second. All right. Maybe we can come back to the rest of these kills in a second because I want to get to my next one. Your teleporting one was great.
Thank you.
I'm going to go with Slimy Jason. Okay. What better way to prove that somebody has been dead for however many years? Once again, we do another Friday 13th video where I don't check out the movie timeline. And if somebody wants to email us and tell us the timeline or give us a link to the timeline, I will save it. But like some algae and maybe some dookie from, because there's sewage getting dumped from Crystal Lake into that lake.
I mean, if I have a cabin out there, Ronnie, and I'm sorry to keep interrupting you, but I'm letting my sewage run off into the lake. I'm not paying for plumbing.
Reckon a lot of artesian wells out there happening.
You got to think so.
Yeah, I think so too. But anyway, Slimy Jason, he looks cool. Everything about it's like if people tried to fight him off, they're just going to slide off of him. Like if somebody tries to bear hug him from behind, he's gonna be able to turn around and get side mount on him. It's over with. But the mask, because it's a new mask, looks really cool on the backdrop, if you will, of the slimy, decaying Jason. I guess that's what they was going for, is like a decay type Jason. I don't know.
Ronnie, what the kids say these days, that mask slaps.
I don't know what that means.
That means it's tight.
Oh, all right. So Slimy Jason is one of the reasons I think this movie's great. He looks different from the way he looks anywhere else in the franchise. Now, some people might think that's a negative. They're entitled to their opinion, Blake. I even took off my little soundbite there that encourages me to mash it whenever people put opinions that I don't like up. I took it off the board, but Slimy Jason is a reason why this movie is great. It's a different look for Jason Voorhees.
Ronnie, I'm very easily persuasive. You just convinced me. Best looking Jason in the franchise.
Okay, Blake. So far, you have a new setting.
New setting. Why this movie's great? New setting.
Yep. You have Jason's teleporting. Jason gets reanimated again. Sorry. And Slimy Jason. So let's go to your next one.
Killing high school kids.
Yep. And I guess I haven't done my third one yet. So
you go ahead. No, go ahead.
You're two ahead of me. So
go ahead.
My next one was Charles McCullough. This guy is an ass. He's a jerk. He's a teacher.
She can't even swim.
He's Rennie's uncle, who apparently threw Rennie. Okay, well, here's my question. Did Rennie imagine all that stuff in Crystal Lake, or did Jason really pull her under? Because the timelines don't match up if that's the case. Can I draw attention? There's 13 people in the chat on a Friday the 13th review. Boom, nailed it. Anyway, so did that really happen, or was she just panicked because there was supposedly a boy in the lake and that's what she was picturing? Because the timeline doesn't measure up, and I would expect when they did this that they would have had more sense than to know, hey, she's not 70.
It really happened, Ronnie.
Okay, it really happened. So he's the ass throughout the whole thing. But is he, or is he a good stern uncle? he makes some good points. At some point, they want to just drop the anchor, and he tells them, "You're stupid. The whole boat will turn over. What are you talking about? Drop anchor in the middle of a storm." And when they get to New York, he's still being a jerk to everybody, and he gets an appropriate kill. They dump him over into a water-filled garbage thing that's been there for 100 years. It looks like it's filled with the mutagen that got the Ninja Turtles the way they are.
I was gonna say he ends up being the Toxic Avenger after that. Yeah.
So I really like this jerk character, Charles. And I wanted to bring something. One of my other ones here in a minute. Can I go to my next one?
Yes, of course, buddy. Yeah.
All right. So my next one, I thought I made it, but I guess I didn't.
Hey, can I just say while you're pulling this up, that's a fantastic shirt. Is that a new shirt?
This is a shirt that I got for Christmas.
Yeah.
And I was going to wear it to some of our Christmas shows.
Oh, so that's Santa Claus.
Yeah, that's Santa Claus, a Santa gnome. All right. So, Blake, this is not my next one, but this is the thing I wanted to pull up about Charles because it's first time in the franchise we get a blackmail. Okay. And I'm not talking about Julian or Julius, whatever his name is. I'm talking about the student is trying to blackmail Charles into getting him a good grade. Are you okay? Trying to give him a good grade. Is that
my allergies are acting up.
Live pop on air?
Hey,
So,
you remember when like the only people that got allergies were nerds?
Yeah.
And now everybody has them. I don't know why I thought of that. Go ahead. Blackmail, Julian.
No, the chick is blackmailing Charles because she's trying to get a good grade. Supposedly, I guess after school is over and they go on the senior trip, you can still get your grade changed. Now, look, this is back in the 80s. They did it with a pencil. You could very easily erase that. And she knew that with Charles here, and she was going to show him the goods. Now, I'm really worried because this was a quick download right here, Blake. I hope there's no nudity in it. If there is,
if it is, then you're welcome, chat.
I'll hit the edit button if there is. Hey.
Hey. Another reason Charles McCullough should be on your list, because when he sees this body, he loses it just for a second, goes, hey.
Hey.
He's looking sharp, too. Look at this suit and blue vest. Rooms are not that nice on a cruise.
She's got a double, too. Now, I think what I've downloaded here does not have any actual dialogue in there. So it's going to be disappointing that he doesn't go, hey.
I thought he was going to drink both of them.
So there's a scene here in just a second, Blake. I'm going to move. Oh, here we go.
Oh.
I'm going to move it forward. I'm just going to have the look he does, and then I'll stop it. And then I'm going to steal one of your lines from the audio podcast.
So anybody can just come up and look in those windows?
Yes. Like the dude from Manos Hands of Fate. Forgo.
Here we go, baby. Money shot.
Ooh, hey.
Hey.
So what happens, Blake? You brought this point up one of the 15 times we reviewed this movie on our audio podcast. What is her plan if he goes for it?
What do you mean? What's the plan?
She's offering him up.
Screw?
Sex. Yeah. What if he just goes, okay, and he goes after it? I know dude's gonna bust out of the closet with the camcorder, but
yeah, things could have went really south for her if he was very aggressive, like Latimer in the program. Either way, she was getting her A, Ronnie. No, I'm sorry. Charles McCullough was getting that A.
The dude with the camcorder has to break in there and tear him off of her like Latimer.
Hey, man, get your damn hands off her.
Jason has to come in there and get Charles off of her because he says that's too much. That's too much. Stop it. Okay, so Charles is on my list, Blake. Your next one.
Yeah, so this is more of a question. This is not a reason why the movie's great. Did the cruise ship sink? Did we ever establish that there was a leak on the boat or anything and that it was going under? Chat, Ronnie, anybody? I mean, what happens to the cruise ship?
I would like to think that thing sunk without a doubt, Blake. That thing was going down because half of it had blown up. Remember when, like, where did the other 60 kids go? They come into there and he goes, they're gone. Where's the kitchen? It's gone.
They're all gone.
It's just gone.
There's like 25 more kills that we missed out on that they did. They just wrote off the whole class without showing us.
All right. So, guys, we're 98 minutes into this movie. And we've got 17 kids left. What do? Well, we just blow up that room right there and say the ship's on fire. They had to. So did they abandon the ship knowing that it was sinking? Right?
See, it could be, Ronnie, but I always thought they abandoned the ship knowing Jason was on it. I mean, Jason's not going to take over him, and he would be a better driver than Sean. But they're just getting on a raft, getting away from him. But I need the answer. Maybe I didn't watch the movie good enough, guys. Is this boat going under when they abandon it? And does a cruise ship sink in this movie?
Oh, it's without a doubt. It's gone. They can file that. It's gone. They can file that on taxes or insurance, whatever you want to call it. It's over.
File on taxes.
All right. My next one. Tugboat Ralph.
Oh, wow. Good one, Ronnie. Way to bring back a good character.
Yeah. What did we talk about, with horror fans complaining? Oh, why did they kill Ralph in part 2? He could have had such a bigger story. Ralph could have been the guy working in the cemetery in part 6 and blah, blah, blah. He could have been Jason's daddy. I hope he's Jason's daddy in Crystal Lake. You idiot. He don't need to be Crystal. He don't need to be Jason's daddy. Everybody that's in the damn movie don't need to be related to Jason. Sometimes you're just stupid. Okay. Don't be stupid. All right. DBS. Don't be stupid. So after all the complaining, what did this new director do? Let's bring back a Ralph character. So immediately we got an old down on his luck, wouldn't have this job for a million years. Not even sure what his job is. Is he a damn janitor on a cruise ship? Is that even a job? Half the time I'm watching on the news, they're hanging their asses off the side of these cruise ships using the bathroom because the toilets don't work.
Like Bud did in the Navy. I think you call him a deckhand, Ronnie. I don't think he's technically a janitor on this. I think you call him a deckhand, which is pretty much, hey, man, when we need something done, go do it. Toilet's overflowing.
Toilet's overflowing. I like Deuce Bigelow's daddy. Anyway, he's all throughout the ship going, this cruise is doomed. Jason Voorhees is here. How would he even know about Jason Voorhees?
He saw him climb up the rope.
Did he really?
No.
Because okay, Blake, here's the deal.
Okay.
That's actually a cool scene in the movie too. Whenever he jumps up on the rope of the anchor to get up on the boat, out of the water. So, okay, 2 questions for you.
Okay.
One, Jason, are we supposed to believe Jason drove that boat to where the ship was that was going on the cruise, or did it just float there?
I think it just floated there, Ronnie. I think it just floated there.
So this movie doesn't happen on a cruise ship if the boat hits a shallow spot and it gets stuck.
Right.
It just goes off into the woods. Anyway, let's put you into Tugboat Ralph's spot.
Okay.
Or I'm going to put myself in the Tugboat Ralph spot as well. We're sitting there doing what Tugboat Ralph does, swabbing the deck, and we see Jason come over the rail and go hide. What do? I mean, the ship hasn't taken off yet.
Well, you got a job to do. You got to unhook the ropes from the dock. You got to get everything ready. You still got work to do, Ronnie.
I'm bailing off of that and getting off that boat because, like you said, there's no getting away from it. So Tugboat Ralph, he was a throwback. He was a good character. At no point is he needed because we don't think he's the killer. So I don't know why they have that little scene at the end of it where he wanders up with the knife in his hand and he falls because there's an axe in his back. Or there's a scene earlier in the movie where you think he's doing something perverted. So there's no need to throw the red herring tag on him because we know he's not the killer. We saw Jason get reanimated. So no idea why they did that.
He's there to freak out Rennie, Ronnie. He's there to freak out Rennie, and that's it.
Rennie. So Tugboat Ralph, he makes me think about real Ralph in part 1 and part 2. That can't be a bad thing. Automatically makes this movie better.
Okay.
So we're going to save your last one, and I'm going to go next. Toot the horn.
One of the more memorable moments from our audio podcast.
they make this relationship between, is his name Sean? I think it's Sean.
Yes, Sean.
Sean and his dad, the boat captain. His dad, the boat captain, and he looks, his dad's driving a effing cruise ship. It's not really a lot to be proud of. It's not like he's driving one of those U.S. destroyers or something in the Gulf.
Super chat, Ronnie.
It's a cruise ship, and
Let's give her a cruise license to drive. Check it.
Are you sure we got a super chat before I go checking through all this?
Right.
He didn't even say anything. Chris Fantazi, who has been tearing up Twitter. I was giggling earlier, looking at catching up on all the show's tweets where he's tagged $2. First off, thanks, Chris. I don't know why you keep donating money. Chris is one of those rare fans, Blake, where he's a Patreon and he's a grumpy goat. And I contacted him. I think I've told you this on the show before. I contacted him and I said, just do one because they both get the same thing. I was like, I don't want to see you waste any money. First off, we're not worth spending any money on, but it's nice.
Not one bit.
And second, he was like, shut up. He said, I'll do whatever I want with my money.
And you know what? A perfect answer. Because he's right, Ronnie. Don't tell him what to do with his money.
Thank you, Chris, for the super chat. So now I got to dig these back out, Blake. What do we want to see? I saw
You is flexible.
You is flexible. Boy, you do not.
Oh, boy, you do not play.
Do me.
So there we go, Blake.
That's my favorite part of Iron Man when he does that.
So Toot the Horn, if anybody doesn't know, it's the relationship between the cruise captain's father and
What?
Sean.
What? Edit and redo that sentence. It's the relationship between Sean and his.
Okay, it's the relationship between the guy who's driving the boat, and Sean. That's what Toot the Horn is talking about. And they obviously have a volatile relationship. At the beginning of it, his senior gift is something that's useless unless somebody sets off an EMP. And he forgets to toot the horn.
It's a two-way ham radio, son.
Toot the horn. I can't say that.
Sean, aren't you forgetting something? Toot the effing horn.
And call in a Mayday.
I hate you, Dad.
You embarrassed me for my friend, Dad, and they run off, and he doesn't talk to him the rest of the time, and then he gets killed. So the last interaction between that father and son was something hateful, and I don't like it. But it makes the movie better because it made me feel emotion, Blake. So there you go.
Jesus, Ronnie, another super chat.
There's no way. We just had one. Okay, so we have to donate this money. Okay, here's what we'll do.
Okay.
Chris, you're insane. You've got a broke big toe. Stop donating money. We love you too. But here's the thing. All this money that Chris has donated, Blake, we'll sit it aside in a fund.
Okay.
And when they arrest his crazy ass for trying to steal that sign he's showing us, we'll send it for bail because there's no way he's stealing that sign. Chris, let's talk about this for a second. Let's derail this interview or this review. Don't steal that sign because we can't put it behind us because that's stolen goods behind us. The town is going to notice the effing sign's missing.
No, Ronnie, I said last week that I just ordered a Haddonfield and Voorhees sign off Amazon. So they will be in my room really soon.
I don't even know. So I think we've used all the clips, Blake.
Oh,
That dude, he's the luckiest human being alive.
he really is.
You don't have to work. All right, so those are all of my reasons right there, Blake. So your last one. Hold on. Why are you laughing?
Hey, did Jason, when the boat sank, did Jason walk on the bottom of the ocean or did he stay under the life raft with the kids. Tell me in the chat, Ronnie. What's your thoughts on that? Did he walk on the floor of the ocean to Manhattan, or did he just hang on to the bottom of the life raft?
He did like all the pirates from Pirates of the Caribbean. He walked on the bottom of the ocean. I assumed he just jumped into the water, Blake, and he held on to the bottom of the boat while they rowed it in.
So why does he wait till they get to a destination, though? You see what I'm saying? Like, why would he do that? Why wouldn't he just poke a hole in it right then and there?
Or turn it over? Part of me wants to say that he held on to that till they got him to shore, because he might not have been able to find shore. You know, he's in the water. His natural instinct is just to open his mouth and try to drink all of it. That's what happened when he was a kid. So he's just going to hold on to the boat and let them take him to the shore. Okay. Now, why he didn't jump out and kill them immediately when they got to that dock, that's another question.
I'm cutting you off, Ronnie, because Jim Bob just made a great point in the chat. It's a teleport moment. He teleports from the boat to the pier. You is flexible.
That doesn't make a lot of sense considering he comes out of the water. Did he teleport into the water right there in front of the pier?
Yeah.
Okay. Now it does make sense.
Okay.
So your last one,
right?
It has a character that does heroin.
Well, that's not exactly what I wrote, and I understand why you cleaned it up. But my original one was, let me read it here. This is the first time that a character is almost raped after doing heroin. I can't just say this is the first time a character's almost raped, because we know what happened with Chris in part 3. But this is the first time that a main character who we're supposed to feel sympathy for does heroin like just a scumbag, and then is going to give herself to the gangsters in the alley.
Gangster's Paradise. So,
and that's when Jason becomes the hero, and he prevents the sex and kills. And you see how disappointed Rennie is. She gets up and runs away looking for another one.
He does go face a little bit because he kills off the crackheads. I actually left one of mine off, Blake. Now I know why, because I just pretend it pops up at the bottom of the screen.
Okay.
This is the first movie where Jason gets toxic wasted.
Ah, cool.
So at the end of the movie, he's fixing to kill Rennie, and she dashes just a random bucket of toxic waste in his face. And this is the first time Jason is ever hurt, Blake. Let's get to the beautiful bean footage.
Okay.
Stop me at any point when you're ready. So first off, great prank. He's killed everybody, and she just runs out of the shadows and dashes out on his face. Now, if it was me, I would have spilled it on my hand, dropped it on my feet, and now I can go away. Now, Jason's having none of this, Blake. Now, he's been shot 1,000,000 times by crackheads in the alleyways. He's hurting. He's got to get this mask off. He's got to get air.
It's burning, Ronnie. It's burning.
Straight to air. But we're under the assumption he can't feel pain. I mean, he picked up the hot rocks and he didn't do anything. Toxic waste is the key, Blake. Another reason why this movie's great. If you've got some random toxic waste laying around, you can defeat Jason. At this point, Blake, Jason's defeated. Okay? Jason's defeated. He's going to look like an idiot for and scream. But I've got another video clip I want to show you, because he starts to remind me of another guy, another movie character that we love, the Tar Man. There's a scene in the background. Now, up until this point, Blake, whenever Jason has been killed, he's just like dead. Okay? He just drops dead, whether it's an axe to the head, whether it's a machete to the face, or a machete to the shoulder. He's just dead. In this movie, he's actually hurt. We never see him hurt. I know there's a scene somebody's going to say in part 3, or he gets stabbed in the knee or something. He's running, limping like that right here. But here, if you look in the background, if you can see this, he's all over the place. He's from one wall to the other. He is done. There's no recovering from this. He's going to be messed up. In the background, just look at this. Kane Hodder was nominated for a Fangoria Award for this. So there you go. I mean, just all over the place with that right there, Blake. And then at the very end of the movie, something we haven't touched on yet is that we find out that New York floods their sewers with toxic waste all throughout the movie. And before we get there, let's talk about the most iconic scene in the movie, or the one that everybody talks about anyway, and it's Jason in the boombox.
Okay. I thought you were going a different scene. But
What would be your scene?
the scene with the Oscar winner in it, Ronnie? The little kid who plays Jason, it comes through a mirror and grabs Rennie.
Oh, you think that's
That's Data from Goonies.
Oh, I didn't know that. First off, look at these guys right here. We saw them at the beginning of it. They're listening to something that doesn't sound like real rap. And he just kicks the shit out of that boombox. And he goes,
Could have been a dog. It could have been a dog. Ronnie, another super chat.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it. Let's finish this real quick, though.
Can't believe you are doing this in this economy.
Hey, punk.
You're a dead meat slime.
You're dead, man. If they were really tough, they'd have been on him like stink on crap as minute he touched their boombox.
Pig.
It was always cool that people could do that. I remember I had one of those knives one time. I cut my finger. Why don't he kill them? Look at that little one right there.
Which one? Which one are you talking about when you say that?
Oh, okay? You think Nick Push is bigger than any of these guys?
No.
If Nick Push goes to H45, he'd have to be on Bud's shoulders to see.
If Nick Push goes to H45, whenever it's over, he's going to be walking like Jason was in that tunnel a while ago.
Yo, man, it's cool. It's cool, man. It's cool.
So slimy. So slimy. All right, let me go.
So Jason is aware of how ugly he is?
Jason is aware.
Well, yeah, he is. This isn't the first time he did it. He did it to Chris in part 3.
Oh, I mean, I don't. What is going on here? Did he make a mistake? The kid coming through with a $4.99 super chat?
Oh, he did it twice. You got to refund him, Ronnie. That was obviously a mistake.
Twice. Kid, real quick in the chat, did you mean to give 2 $4.99 super chats, or was that a mistake?
That's a mistake. You will be refunded.
Yeah, if you double clicked on that twice, man, come on. You don't. What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh my God. All right. So Blake, he gave us 2 super chats. So what do? We're out of clips.
This is tough, Ronnie. It's never happened before. Never expected to get this. You just got to go give him the fat one. Give him the fat.
Wiping just my ass. Because, I mean, I can't reach everything on my back and I can't reach everything below me. So, you know, it's whatever.
It's whatever.
You is flexible. Boy, you do not. Oh.
You got it. Just lean forward. Don't lean back. Lean forward. You ready? Ready? Push. Push. Ready?
Oh, you got that big Oh, he's in the split.
I found a hidden gem in that one, Blake. If you see that long-haired girl or hippie that's walking away, shaking her or his head at that point, they know something bad's fixing to happen right there with Big Tubbo right there. And kid, really quickly, let us know in the chat. Did you mean to do that? We can get your money back to you if that was a mistake on twice. But thank you for the donations. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. We appreciate it.
Oh, do me.
So
He actually said, "Can you send it all back, Ronnie?" He just put that in the chat.
Pat donating $1.99.
Come on, Pat.
Toot the horn. Show me the midget. You got it, Pat. You want the midget? You got him.
Oh, hey!
Way too generous on a Saturday night. Or what's that? What the hell's today? Friday night.
It's Friday, Ronnie, because it's Friday 13th.
Oh, it's true. Anyway, back. What was I talking about, Blake?
What were we talking about? Jason lifting his mask off.
Oh, we talked about the boombox scene.
Fantasy did it again, Ronnie.
I love that now people are in their comments.
Well, now we got work to do. We got to get more clips.
I just love that they're telling us what they want to see.
Wiping just my ass, because I mean, I can't reach everything on my back and I can't reach everything below me. So, it's whatever.
You think we could get him for the show?
He's dead.
Oh, he's dead?
He's got to be. I just love that he had that little midget in his pants for that interview. There you go. Let me check through these video clips really quick, Blake.
All right.
We'll hit the road. I think that's it. I think that's going to wrap it up. So let's put it in a nice little bow right here, Blake. So Friday the 13th, part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. Do we want to rate this movie? No, this is not a review, so we're not going to rate this movie. Hopefully everybody in the chat, and we've had quite a few people in the chat tonight, take some of these reasons that we listed, and it helps.
Guys, he gave you a new setting. He gave you a new setting. Okay, we got Teleportation Jason. We got some of the most creative kills in the franchise with the rocks. We didn't even talk about Julian punching Jason on top of the roof, and then Jason knocking his block off.
I've got that. Hold on. I've got
into the dumpster. I mean, just really good kills. Really good kills. This is a great movie.
I've got it. Keep talking. Or don't.
I want to see it.
There we go. That's my favorite kill right there. He just takes that crackhead and runs him right into that pipe. That's the way we should do crackheads. And that's a statement. That's a public statement from us.
Another super chat, Ronnie.
Okay. We got to hold on. Let's get this kill. This dude's breathing.
Give me your best shot.
He was punching his chest. He was giving him body punches like he was going to wear him down. I'm hitting that meat rock.
Take your best shot.
Getting your little head, baby.
How appropriate. This right here is a great kill. The cop. He just bear hugs the cop and takes him back in.
How long before they find Julian's body?
Well, they don't have to find Julius. Oh, how you think they're going to find it? They find his head. Jason gets the head out of the dumpster and puts it in his cop car.
Oh. They're stuck in that cop car. You can't open the back door.
Okay, so now we talked about it earlier, but here's Charles getting into the Dookie water.
Please do me.
He's got him up in the British Bulldog running
power slam. It's power slam time, brother.
Look at that. You know people doo-dooed in there.
This is also this is also the first movie that Jason vomits, Ronnie. Perfect.
That is true. That is true. I thought I had Jason. Oh, I do have that one. Well, we can't end this video without Jason turning back into a kid. Hold on.
Okay. He's got a puke.
So the movie got really weird at this point. You see that they just pretty much left Kane Hodder's normal face. And IMDb says this is a real vomit from him. I don't know why you would do that. Why not in this cased up face right here? Would you not just put like one of those things that used to do for Saturday Night Live? Uh-oh, that fell in my ear. Here comes the toxic waste. Wearing his A out. Think about all the homeless down there and the Ninja Turtles. They're wiped out nightly.
Yeah.
This is like the scene where they blow up the dam in Die Hard with a vengeance. Then we get a scene that looks like something from Tales from the Dark Side. Come on, WGN about 8:30. Now, here's a good question right here, Blake. Is this movie magical, and does this right here turn him back into a boy? Like, this dude's worthless, by the way. He's got boxers, Blake. Why ain't he butt ass naked?
We should have definitely got to see some kid butt right here, and we missed out on it because they were scared.
You'd think Hollywood wouldn't be scared to do that at this point.
We owe Maverick a little person, Ronnie.
Hold on, let me go back to the chat.
That's so awesome. Mav, I've missed you, buddy. I've missed you.
Where? Someone get that dude to rip me. Where has Mav been? Hold on before he answers that question.
Don't give us the family excuse, Mav. All right?
Hold on. Messed up. So that's Friday the 13th, Blake.
Guys, I said it at the beginning. If you're not a fan of this movie, then you're just a hater. You don't even like horror. That's your problem, not ours. This is a really good movie. One of the best Jason movies in the franchise. Is really good. And if you don't like it, you probably ain't even been with a woman. What do you think, Ronnie?
I think it definitely hadn't been with a woman if they don't like this movie. And, you know, I said it at the beginning, I'm going to bookend it at the end of this review now that we're wrapping it up. I was guilty of saying this movie was terrible for the longest time, but this movie has redeeming qualities. This movie is a good addition to the franchise. And I almost added, it's the last one. You know, I know they came back with the remake and Paramount called it Friday the 13th, but there were lots of other production companies involved in that. This was the last true Friday the 13th. It later became, you know, Jason Goes to Hell, Final Friday, Jason X, Jason versus Freddy, or Freddy versus Jason, whichever one it was. But it seems like every time I watch this now as an older person, this was them closing the door on Jason from 1980 to 1989. And it was a hell of a run. I know this one didn't make, I think, $14 million off of a $9 million budget. It's still, and that was one of the reasons they sold it to New Line after this. But there was plenty of life left in this. People wasn't tired, but we were also getting to the beginning of the 90s where everything fizzled and died out, and it just needed a break. It just needed a break. It really didn't even need a reboot. And it still doesn't need a reboot, I don't think. And I'm for any kind of Friday the 13th properties that we get. I give this series that's coming a lot of hell, but I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna give it a chance. I don't like what I saw in that writing room. I don't like what I see from the back history of these writers. I know everybody says Hannibal's great. Hannibal is a different entity and property than Friday the 13th. I'm not against anything being smarter and digging out, but there's a spirit and there's an identity to Friday the 13th. And I think anybody that takes the reins needs to know that, whether it's a TV show or a movie, because it opens itself up to all of it. And Friday 13th Part 8, for the longest time, didn't like it. I like this movie. The Paramount 8, if you will, it's a good movie. They tried something different. He had huge expectations, but me and you, Blake, we've said it forever. What do you need for a Friday the 13th movie? You need Jason, some people in the woods, and a little bit of nudity.
That's all you need. Perfect movie.
All right. For everybody that came out tonight, thank you. Thanks to everybody that donated money. Chris Fantazzi, you're a wild man. Get that toe well. Maverick, good to see you again. Pat, you've got plenty of money. I would say don't donate us any money, but you've got plenty, so I don't feel bad for you donating. You're a millionaire. The kid coming in with 2 $4.99 donations, unreal. You guys opened up your wallet to us tonight, and we really like it. So make sure you do it again the next time we're out. Blake, anything else before we go? It's a concrete jungle, Blake.
It is a concrete jungle. It's no escape. It's scary out there. Hey, what do we got down the road, Ronnie? Go ahead and tell everybody what to look forward to.
All right, for sure, Blake. Next Wednesday, it's me, it's you. We're heading to Eternia. We're picking up Gwildor, Man-at-Arms, Tiva, He-Man. Then we're jumping over to Detroit or wherever the hell they land at. We're going to that chicken place where they serve the barbecue.
We're going to hang out with Robbie.
We're hanging out with Robbie, the dude that owns the music shop down there. Lubick, this is for real. We're going to handle it. The dude that gets beat up, the janitor gets beat up at the high school. We're all going to hang out because it's 1987's Masters of the Universe. Good journey, Blake.
I have the power. Good journey.
One of our favorite movies. If you like our style of reviews, we're going to pop up. The slideshow, and we're going to talk Masters of the Universe. Hopefully everybody can be there, but we also know that a lot of our fans are horror fans, and if you're not there, we'll see you on the next one. As far as other content, Blake, we got to review 8 seconds for the Patreons.
That's right, Mav. We got to do 8 seconds for you, buddy.
Grumpy Goats. You have some ideas that I've forgotten. We got some Lethal Weapon 5 videos that are coming. We're going to do a Mount Rushmore video. We've got a Halloween timeline video where we're going to finally decide which timeline is the best. So it's a lot of exciting things, Blake.
Getting a lot of good feedback about our Let's Ruin Halloween, and I'm glad you guys are excited about it. So obviously the concept is take a really classic movie that's beloved by everybody, and let's ruin it. So I think next, Ronnie, you're wanting to do Terminator 2?
Mm-hmm. Terminator 2. We're going to ruin Terminator 2.
He said, mm-hmm.
We're going to ruin Terminator 2. So everybody get ready for that. I don't know when the next time we'll do another live Good, Bad, and Ugly. We really didn't like that format live. It felt like it restrained us.
Yeah, it didn't work.
About certain things. I don't think it worked live, so we'll keep that a tape show. So apologies to anybody that didn't like the Burbs. That's it, Blake. Anything else before we roll on out of here?
Everybody enjoy your weekend.
Don't steal the sign. Put your toe on ice and get bail money ready.
Maverick said he was drinking and driving and had an accident, Ronnie.
That's the reason he hadn't been here?
That's why he hadn't put out content.
Oh, DUI.
DUI.